everyone, I'm talking to ABC Radio this morning about my Infinite Women work, so I thought I'd share the conversation with you all.
Look, a few weeks ago, you might recall we met author Allison Tyra here on Breakfast. Allison's a local author and podcaster and has recently written a book called Uncredited, Women's Overlooked, Misattributed and Stolen Work. And she also presents the Infinite Women podcast. And we're planning to sort of catch up with Allison from time to time here on Breakfast to delve into some of the stories in her book because there's a lot to explore there. Alison, welcome once again.
Thanks so much.
But this morning we thought, look, let's talk about your website because that is possibly even bigger. I mean, the book's big, but the website is even bigger. If we can, get a sense of, what's the word I'm looking for, virtually of these kinds of things, I suppose. Um, you probably did explain this to us last time when we first spoke, but just remind us, I suppose, because I'm presuming the website was the thing that happened first. What sort of sparked that initially as well? The sort of idea to delve into these stories and collect these stories together.
Sure. So the website itself I launched in 2020, so I guess that ended up being my COVID project. But even before that, I'd started this massive spreadsheet because I'm an autistic girly and I love spreadsheets.
Right.
Like literally, I was doing a questionnaire for my husband when he was getting diagnosed, and I put a footnote on one of the things where this person seems comfortable in social settings, and I put an asterisk, and I'm like, but I know he's faking it in the footnote.
Right.
And apparently, the diagnostician looked at that. I was like, does your wife like spreadsheets by any chance? And I do. I love a spreadsheet. It's very important. Everyone needs to know that.
Okay.
So I had sort of been getting frustrated with the very common occurrence that you see of here's 5 women artists you've never heard of, or here's 7 women scientists who should have won the Nobel Prize.
Mm.
And I have nothing against those listicles in and of themselves, but the simple fact is that there's never just 5 women, there's never just 7 women.
Mm.
And so I started making a list. And thus the spreadsheet was born. The spreadsheet itself is, I think, around 228,000 people long at this point.
Wow.
So, yeah, not all of them are on the website, obviously, because I am human, despite appearances.
That is enormous, though. I mean, how have you collected this, though? What's been the process of, and I'm presuming it's ongoing, is it? That never ends, I guess.
Yeah, so I try to I try to balance that massive list that I have going on with actually getting women on the website because that spreadsheet doesn't help anybody but me.
Mm.
And so on the website, I've got almost 7,500 at the moment. I'm constantly adding to it with a variety of sources. So any databases that I have permission to share from, any public domain. So there are a couple of old books that were just published so long ago that are like, here's 100 women that are worth knowing
Right. Okay.
because this is not a new trope.
Right. Yeah. No. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's provided a lot of that research then. Yeah. So explain to us how you've when it came to designing the website. Yeah. How you've done that and when people go there, what they're going to see, and how you hope people are going to use it. That's a lot of questions, I know. Let's start with why you decided to, or how you laid it out, perhaps.
Sure. Well, as I mentioned, the website I finally launched in 2020. I've been working on the spreadsheet just as I found it, different women's stories. I would pop a note in, pop a note in. You may recall that that's also sort of how I wrote my book. It's just very passive research. And in my case, it worked out pretty well. So, um, during COVID, like a lot of people, my hours got significantly reduced. I think I went from full time to 60%, so, 3 days a week.
Yeah.
And also couldn't leave the house, which turns out I am very suited to hermit life. I am all about that. But like a lot of people, I said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and do this thing
Mm.
that has sort of been brewing in the back of my brain. And I did not build the website. I'm not a web developer. I did hire someone to do that part. But I really wanted it to be a searchable database that people could find whatever they were looking for.
Mm.
So there are category tags. So that might be activist and then, activism dash suffrage,
Right.
right? Activism slash queer rights. So you can find people by dozens and dozens of tags. That way, most of the women have multiple tags, obviously. And then I also have identity-based tags. So if you're looking for women of African descent, if you're looking for queer women, if you're looking for women with disabilities, and then within those groups, there are subcategories. So there will be one for Asian descent, but then Asian descent China.
Right, okay.
So I really want people to be able to find whatever they're looking for.
Yeah. I mean, it's a massive resource. How are people using it? What are you hearing about, how people and why people are coming to your website?
I don't think people realize that the tags are there as much as I'd like them to. They are kind of small down at the bottom, but the site does have, on average, well over 4,000 visitors a
Mm,
month.
mm.
So that's very gratifying to know that people are using this resource. And then, of course, I've got the weekly podcast, which I've been doing for a couple of years now. And I talk to interesting people about, as I put it, anything but cis dudes.
Right.
No offense to you people.
No offense taken. I mean, yeah, it's great. I guess if you're just curious to just delve in and just explore and read about some of these people. I'm imagining it's also a huge educational resource as well, though. Do you know if students are using it who are sort of working on assignments or looking for, examples of people that they might want to work into whatever they're doing for whatever reason?
I do talk to a lot of academics on the college level, and I've also been helping out with a campaign in the US to get a women's US history course in classrooms.
Right.
And so I certainly hope they do,
Hmm.
but I am not able to access the data that closely, nor would I want to, because that's creepy to be like, are teenagers looking at this site? Like, no, I don't want to know that.
No.
That's not my
That's
business.
what anecdotally people might sort of still let you know. Look, yeah, this we found this. This was a fantastic resource, and thank you for putting it out there. I suppose. Yeah,
Yeah, I have gotten that feedback
yeah,
a few times, but I can't speak to,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
in the big picture.
yeah. So there's that part of it. Then, of course, there is the podcast that you mentioned as well, which is what we're running for a couple of years now. So you must be up to an enormous number of episodes there as well. I'm guessing.
So I actually have a backlog because as I was promoting my book, I was emailing all of these women and gender studies folks, and I would always put in there, if you want to come talk about your own stuff, let me know.
Mm.
And fortunately, a bunch of people did take me up on that, but that does mean that I've currently got episodes scheduled 6 months out.
Wow.
And so I'll prioritize things if it's, oh, my book's coming out in this month. I will try to accommodate that sort of thing. And most people are like, yeah, my research isn't going
Going
anywhere.
Yeah.
I don't want it sounds bad when I say it like that because then it sounds like it's not making any progress, but it's like, no, the research
That's
is
not
always
going
going to be there.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so I've got, oh gosh, over 150 episodes. I have transcripts for every single episode on the website. I've got playlists as well.
Mm.
So because I talk about so many different kinds of things, like most of them are about a particular woman or a group of women, but some of them are broader topics. So it might be medical racism,
Mm.
right? And then we talk about the broader topic, but then we talk about how is this specifically intersecting with gender to impact. I think we mostly focus on African American women specifically.
Mm.
And so if you're looking for women in STEM episodes, they're on there. Artists, activists, women at war.
Mm.
Go check out the playlist to see what sparks your fancy, and maybe you'll also check out something new.
Indeed, a huge resource, and the newsletter as well, so you can subscribe to that to give yourself up to date. Alison, thank you for popping in again, and we'll have you back very soon, and we'll maybe sort of delve into some of these stories in a bit more detail. In the meantime, though, the book is called Uncredited: Women's Overlooked, Misattributed, and Stolen Work, so seek that out as well. Have a look at the Infinite Women website as well. Alison, thank you.